This is the exact point that Timothy Egan ends the book on. He talks about how rather than changing the model itself, which needs to be done, the government said we need to keep this amount of farmland in this area. How can we make that happen? So they sent a series of pumps and pipes all the way down to the Ogallala Aquifer underground. And this is our largest body of underground fresh water in the whole US. He describes it like a sponge underground that spans from Texas all the way to South Dakota. It's absolutely massive. However, the problem lies with the fact that we are depleting it 8 times faster than it can replenish. And he says that it goes down by 1.1 million acre feet a day. That is 1.1 million acres a foot deep of water. That's larger than my brain can comprehend. So to clarify, this land can hold small amounts of gardening. It's not meant to sustain these giant corporate mega farms that decimate millions of acres of land. We actually need to rethink this worldwide. So it's not that the Plains tribes never planted anything there. It's just that it'd be more described like gardening, and they had more sustainable practices to do this gardening. This model is not sustainable. He also details about how these subsidies that FDR set up for small farmers, small poor farmers, to keep them in business for feeding the nation, they are now abused by these mega corporate farms. And these subsidies go to farms that benefit the politicians the most. So they're like political subsidies. And we're talking billions of dollars a year going to these giant corporate farms just in subsidies from tax dollars. Now, I want to make some corrections that the indigenous folks in my comments have taught me. These are things I did not learn from this book or the book I'm reading right now, Empire of the Summer Moon. These books were both written by non-indigenous people. I described the Plains tribes as being mostly nomadic, and I've learned that that's not accurate. As we know, nomadic means constantly on the move, and I have learned that that's really not true. It's more migratory. So they would move and migrate with the seasons to different locations. Sometimes those were semi-permanent locations because they need the earth to replenish with the seasons. It's all about giving the earth time to replenish, just like this aquifer. So my apologies to all the Great Plains tribes. Thank you so much for being kind about teaching me this. I also want to say that in my video where I'm describing how we got to the Dust Bowl, the first time that I reference the indigenous folks being displaced from that region, I say they left. The second time in that video, I say removed. They did not leave on their own accord. That was their home for centuries. They were removed. So I just want to clarify that one I did know. I just did not use the correct language in that video, and I apologize. Now, another thing the indigenous folks taught me in my comments is that a lot of the tribe names I'm using, which again, I'm summarizing a book, so I read this, but a lot of the tribe names I used are derogatory, which that one is blowing my mind. Why are we using these terms if they're derogatory? So going forward, when I summarize the book I'm reading now, Empire of the Summer Moon, I'm going to be using the tribe names that the tribes identify with. That's like common sense. I can't believe I'm reading books that have been researched and they're using derogatory names. Not to shade Timothy Egan, because I still think this is a 5-star book, but I feel like that's a little careless.